Motherfuckers gonna be happy in a minute. That's all I know. That's all I know. Approval and sensitivity. All right, let's see. Let me make sure. Hold on. Let me make sure this is working. Hold on. This is going to pause for a second. All right, let's see. What's going on? My name is Ari, the Healing Empress, aka the Fly Goddess. All right. Well, let's see. Well, damn. All right. Golden Eagle, enlightenment, success. Then you got Wild Goose, trust in the group, communication. All right. And then you got Seahorse, fatherly power, consistency. All right. You got a fatherly power around you. You got a father figure around you. Then that's crazy. I'm speaking about a father figure. All right, so you got a father figure around you. All right. Spirit is saying trust in the group. This person is guiding you. Enlightenment, success. This person is guiding you to success. All right, this person is leading you. All right, combativeness and honor. Boar spirit. Kangaroo, progress and care. All right, so this person is pushing you forward. This person is pushing you for responsibilities and dedication. All right, this person sees that you're dedicated to your responsibilities. All right, something about your responsibilities. What's going on? All right, family, stability. It's the way you care for your family. All right, inner world and curiosity. Adaptability and reactivity. All right. Introspection and patience. All right, nobility and leadership. All right, you got wishes coming your way. All right, you got some things that's getting ready to pop off in your life. All right. All right, tell me something about this job. Tell me something about this job, Spirit, that I'm walking into. The job that's being walked into. Beauty, completeness, cheerfulness, and pride. All right, so I heard less stressful, but a chance to upgrade. Intelligence, unpredictable. All right, unpredictability. Quick on your feet. It's like the job that you are transferring with is not the job that you will be with. Listening and secrecy. Beauty and completeness. That came out twice. All right, tell me about what's going on, Blue. What's going on, y'all? The job that you transfer with is not the one that you're going to be with. All right, there's a mask here. Something or someone is not showing their true feelings. All right, so I feel like when this move happens, yeah, you're moving with a position, but there's another provision. There's something else that needs to be fulfilled. All right, discern. Do not absorb. Everything around you is not yours to carry. What you mean, no? Oh, no, it doesn't. What are you talking about? No, it doesn't. Um, no response is a response. All right, silence can be an answer too. All right, like I said, you're traveling. Whatever, it's definitely traveling there because I didn't even mean to say that. All right, but whatever you're traveling with or to is not going to be where you're going to be. It's almost like a secret hidden promotion. Secret hidden promotion. It's like there's a door. All right. It's like you're going down this path, but there's a door nobody knows of. I said something before about a job that was created. Aligned choice. This path honors who you are becoming. All right. I said something about there's some sort of new position and opening, and nobody can feel it. Nobody, and they need to feel it immediately. Body check. All right. Your body can sense what your mind is trying to justify. All right. You may be leaving sooner than make. You may be leaving sooner. That's a hard yes. All right. Maybe there's some sort of job opportunity opening up. All right. And you're gonna take it. And you're gonna take it. And it's more. This is either gonna happen before you go or after you go. Stand firm. Stop bending. Keeping things comfortable for others. All right. It's giving fuck the people around you. The mask. You're starting to see a mask fall off. All right. Steady, not rushed. All right. Real things don't need chaos to survive. All right. Things is getting ready to be working out smoothly. All right. Healthy timing. The opportunity meets you at the right season. I'll tell you, it's the opportunity happening. It's something new. All right. Inner knowing. Everything around you is not yours to absorb. All right. Meaning you've been taking on everybody else's problems. All right. Can't nobody take your shit on. All right. You have to take on your problems and everybody else. All right. And God is putting an end to that. Wishful thinking, wanting it badly, but it does. Wanting it badly doesn't make it right. All right. People don't want you to move forward, but that don't make it right. All right. Healthy timing. Again, divine delay. What's going on, Arlene? A divine delay. All right. A closed door is a redirection and hold on. A closed door rejection can be redirection and protection. So everything happens for a reason is what I'm hearing. Some sort of mask is coming off. What are you ignoring? Trust often sits in what is brushing you aside, or what keeps brushing aside. Return to self. Come back to center before choosing you. All right, so I feel like the worst is over. Divine timing and order. Wait for the reveal. There's more about to be shown. I told you it's something that you don't see. It's something that you don't see when it comes to a position. You think that something was lost, but something is not lost. Like you're gaining something. You're not losing. Align, yes. This opportunity is for you. All right. So there's an opportunity that you're getting ready to walk right into. All right. You could be, the terms right now could be confusing, vagueness, or missing details. That's because there's more to it. There's more to it, all right? Delayed approval. I said this a few minutes ago. Delayed approval. Something behind the scenes is being held up, all right? But something is aligned. Something is aligned. It's your time, all right? So you're not losing anything. You're gaining. The interview, a conversation, a elevation phase. See, something is moving forward. Nothing is going backwards, all right? So when you leave, when you move, you may be, again, using this to move, but I feel like there is a job opposition. There's a job that is opening up that no one knows about. It's almost like there's a job that's open, so and somebody didn't want to tell you on purpose. So to not tell you on purpose, they still gave you what you wanted, all right. But it's like they didn't give you what you wanted. But whole time, God finna give you what you wanted. They thought they were gonna keep something from you. Luxury energy, high value living, quality premium pricing. All right, so they thought they were gonna keep something from you. All right, scam energy. All right, this is just being in the presence of a fucking liar. All right, use your discernment. Not all money is good money. All right, so somebody felt like you wasn't gonna take it. Somebody felt like you weren't gonna take the opportunity because you taking the opportunity is open doors to another opportunity. All right, open doors. All right, a new opportunity is available. A new opportunity is available. What's going on, love? Oh, I'm like, who is that? Okay. You're reading this. You're reading this next over on YouTube. All right. You got golden opportunity. There is a rare golden opportunity, a valuable chance that's getting ready to happen for you. I got CEO energy. All right. Step fully into your authority. You're stepping fully into your authority. All right. Nobody can take that shit away from you. Multiple streams of income. All right. There's an opportunity that is opening for you. All right. Energy exchange. All right. Check whether this is balance. All right. Anybody who you are in the presence of, you're going to always want to check that energy level. All right, because that tells you who the fuck to stay away from. All right. Align, yes. All right. So you are aligned. Just go with the flow. Go with the flow. God's gonna give you everything that you need. All right, divine timing. Not denied, just not yet. All right. God's gonna give you everything that you need, and God's gonna show you. God is already showing. All right, but God's gonna continue to show you that everything that you need is coming towards you. All right. Somebody was talking shit behind your back and being caught. All right. Or somebody was talking shit, lying, and fucked around and was caught. Somebody hiding their karma. Texas is here. So somebody could have lied about something when it comes to Texas. All right. When it comes to a move, somebody's hiding a big surprise. Something will be special about the next holiday. I just feel like if you're moving before then, before the next holiday came out, it's like finding out new information. It's all happening now. All right. Somebody don't want to be without you. Never sad again. Somebody wants to love on you. All right. I'm getting whoever this person that you're running into. It's happening now. All right. You're gonna get ready to. Your life is get ready to change. Fairy tale love, dream trip too. Out of nowhere. It's like out of nowhere, everything gonna be fucking different. All right. You've been waiting on this shit for a long time. You've been waiting on this change for a long time. All right. But not only is it a career change, but it's a home life change. All right. It's a can finally breathe again. All right. Somebody tried to play you and you still won. You still got up out of the. All right. Even when people were trying to discourage you, all right, somebody was wanting you to give up and not say shit, because if you wouldn't have said shit, then nothing would have changed. All right, it's all about your voice, your power. All right, somebody knows it's over. Somebody knows that they lost. All right. You are a god or a goddess that has awakened. It's time to get on your throne. All right, can't nobody fucking hold you back. You got a big award that's getting ready to come towards you. All right, spirit baby is here. You got spirit babies helping you fight behind the scenes. All right, you set all of your haters down. You set all of your haters down because you do know, like, even when you move, transfer, go to a different job, blah, 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 that's within the same company. Oh, they hear about your level up. They gonna hear about your level up too, and somebody gonna get fired behind the scenes. All right, making big moves, talking shit behind your back. That's the person that's gonna get fired. That main person who lied. A lot of times you are just brought in an establishment so that you can see who all the fuck people are, and your energy alone removes them, hiding their karma. All right, those people become sick and ill. All right, things start to crumble in their life for trying to make shit hard in your life. All right, West Coast or something by water is significant by the next holiday. Get ready to receive. All right, get ready to receive. There's a lot of great things that's coming towards you because there's good people involved on the other side is what I'm hearing. All right, popping up in your city, you don't have to do nothing. All right, so everything is being laid out for you. Somebody had a dream about you. All right, God is sending in a new person, one that you've never met. All right, somebody in real love and love real bad. All right, so whatever this love life is that you're encountering, it's going to be like never before. Again, somebody tried to play you. Somebody tried to play you up out of your dream life. Texas is here. All right, but you fought for it. You're not like are you realizing it? But I don't think that you're realizing that you fought for something. All right, you didn't just lay down and give up. You fought. You fought. You could have easily said okay and just walked away, but we're not doing that. Some told you to say something and you did. Most people be scared to say shit. All right, you didn't do that. You knew that you was enough and that you deserved something and you wanted something and you went after that shit. All right, the flow like water. So now spirit knows. Shit, you would go after whatever the fuck you feel is necessary. All right, you gonna take that risk. You took a risk on yourself. All right, holding on to your vision. Take a walk. Authority. You don't play that shit. Authority over your life. All right, and abundance is here. That's all spirit wanted to see. All right, clarifying. That's all spirit wanted to see. Can you stand up for yourself? There's changes here. Spirit want to know if the old you is completely back. All right. Collaboration is here. Spending time with friends. All right. These people are in discomfort. All right. You could be getting ready to spend time with people who gonna be in discomfort because of the change that you got coming. All right. The great serving. Mars energy, anger, conflict, softening to love. All right. So there should be some sort of tunnel at the end of the light. Okay then. There's some sort of tunnel at the end of the light. All right, you should be able to see it now. Bring love in the situation. All right, think. All right, just get your thoughts together, but clear your mind out every day. All right, confidence is the key. All right, make a meal, cook. All right, do anything to relax. And now it's coasting. All right, this is your coasting phase. All right, you know that you're getting ready. You know when you're getting ready to walk into something new. All right, so because you have a date on it, now you are going to just focus on grounding yourself, taking care of yourself, nurturing yourself, already putting yourself in the mode as if you were already going. What would you be doing for yourself? All right, communication is the key. There's a message coming towards you. All right, there's a message. All right, somebody want to argue? Yeah, we're not doing that. Massage is here. Investigate. Somebody want to argue? We're not doing that. All right. Read. All right, the end of a tough cycle. All right, something's coming to an end. The light at the end of the tunnel. All right, you're starting to see revelations. All right, you're gonna start to see why shit was done the way that it was. All right, it's almost like when shit wasn't going your way, you can see how people were. When shit started going your way, then look and see how people act. All right, yeah, work through your fears. I need balance. You're not heartbroken. I got you. You're gonna be all right. All right, God. A lot of times, God is forcing people out of shit. All right. God is forcing people out of shit, and Spirit will do it in the most craziest way. So you think that you're not prepared, and you are prepared. You are prepared. I thought that same thing, but let me tell you, when shit like that happens, it'd be a blessing. I remember one time when I had to leave somewhere, and that's when I got $40,000 out of nowhere. That shit, first time it was 15,000. The second time it was 40,000. All right, so God will make a way out of crazy situations. Trust me. All right, alchemy force. All right, enlightenment. You got a lot of spiritual beings around you, and I mean a lot of them motherfuckers. Okay, you are highly protected, and they are like upgrading your mental, your characteristics. All right, faith and wisdom, Isis energy. All right, creation, um, renewal, skill. All right, think about all the things that you know how to do. Think about, that's a blessing. When you sit back and you think about all the things you can do, you know how many motherfuckers can't do shit? You know how many people can't do a goddamn thing? Devastation. Devastation is over. Stability and equilibrium. People can't do shit. People can't cook. Hell, people can't clean. People can't even be their fucking selves. Alright? You can do all of that. And you're creative. You know what I'm saying? Hope. You got people who are jealous of the fact that you got hope. You don't have to have anything. As long as you smile, love yourself, and have some type of hope or faith, oh baby, it could be a million people against you. A million people against you. Alright, death and rebirth. They think they hate you now. Shit, just wait. Darkness. You coming out of darkness. You are coming out of darkness. Alright, genius. Healing. Somebody looks at you as you think you know it all. That's crazy as fuck. And light. And no, you just smart as fuck. You're not no goofy. Alright, somebody looks at you like you think you know it all. Somebody's a hater. Somebody's a fucking hater. Alright, again, it's somebody talking shit. Alright, romantic love affair. Somebody getting less. Government. Somebody is always too. Alright, you're too busy winning and somebody paying attention to you. Alright, and somebody losing money. Alright, decisions causes delays. There's some delays happening in somebody's life. Alright, you're walking into a new relationship. New relationship is. Alright, the next couple of months. Alright, somebody, infectious disease, sexual disease, rash. Alright, obsessive lover. Somebody got going through some health issues that they ain't talking about today. Somebody playing a part. Ooh. Alright, this is the other party. A baby mama could be significant, but this is the other party. Somebody got something. Alright, bad reputation. Alright, rejection. You could have rejected somebody. Somebody could have made you an offer, you declined it. Somebody's stalking you. Rejected. Whoever you rejected. What's going on, R? Alright, you have the power to create the timing by taking the action and be an impersonator here. Alright, it's time to take a break. Alright, so something about some sort of rest and renewal. Hey, love, what's going on? Rest and renewal. Alright, it's in the past. Alright, love on the brain, jackpot. Alright, somebody try to cop block a situation. Somebody really don't want shit to be up and up for you, but it is. Alright. Same shit, different day. Alright, whoever this person is, same shit, different day. Alright, this person never changes. This person is a blood-sucking vampire. Alright, that's what it's giving. Bad habits. Timing is pushed back due to blockages. Alright. Alright, so you have some sort of blockages, and that's why something was pushed back, but it's time to move forward now. Alright, somebody is going to become carless. Jackpot. Somebody's going to lose something coming for you. Next spring. So spring. Alright. Somebody digging dirt. Somebody having health issues. Alright, because somebody running from their problems. Cyberbullying. This person could be watching you online. Obsessive lover, wasting time. Waste of your time came out twice. Traveling, waste of time because you leaving. Alright, you are unfazed by a situation. Have faith the divine timing is at play. Somebody's a happiness hater. I just said that shit. Alright, somebody was a blood-sucking vampire. Happiness hater. The next full moon. Alright, so something could be coming out within the next full moon. The next full moon is what, on the 1st? Alright. And then 9 months from now, somebody could be getting ready to be pregnant. Somebody could be conceiving around the full moon. Boss daddy is here. Somebody could be conceiving. Alright, somebody in the hospital. Somebody could be in the hospital around that time. There's a whole bunch of shit happening. Somebody could be passing away around the full moon. Inside scoop. Unfazed. Somebody watching you. Alright, but you're uninterested, rejected. Somebody kissing ass. Somebody wants you to kiss their ass. That's a no-go. Alright, ego is hurt. Discrimination, blackout. Alright, leaving something behind. Prolonging. Period. Alright. Vehicle repair. I just said somebody's gonna be having vehicle issues. Alright, love on the brain is here. Somebody's patience, not yet. Alright, something about January. Somebody could have did something in January. Alright, something about the fall time. Alright, fake flexing. Love triangle. Alright, so somebody, there could be a third party somewhere. Somebody fake flexing with. You know how you get with a motherfucker, like, basically lying to get you. Somebody, they doing the same thing to somebody else type of energy. Lying. In order to impress somebody. That's what somebody doing. Somebody being catfished. Somebody being catfished is what I heard. Alright, ego is here. Dirty offer. Fake smile. Somebody being fake as fuck. Alright, something looks promising. Tomorrow looks promising. Alright, something about the summertime. August is significant. Alright, bad karma, bad reputation. Alright, somebody who's always partying, not thinking about the future. Alright, screenshots. Next month looks promising. Next month. Alright, so something is coming up within this week. Alright. Something is happening within this week. Alright, love on the brain. Somebody's trying to stop something from coming in from you. For you. It's not working though. Random tests. Alright, fishing for comments. You got a lot of old people coming towards you. Alright, somebody is running from something. Alright, it's time to take a break. Spirit wants you to rest. I'm hearing just you on coast mode. May, all right, May just popped out at funeral. Oh my God, somebody passing away. Damn, I put that May. Oh, here you go. Can I tell you somebody was gonna pass away? Somebody passing away. This person could be watching you. This person could have tried to force the ending on you, and now their ass would have passed away. Oh well. Look, you know when somebody get married, somebody when there's a funeral, somebody's being born, but also somebody get married too. All right. Side note: impersonator. Somebody baby mama, somebody could die. Somebody turn around and get married. December is significant. All right. Citation. The devil and it's like the devil next winter. Net by, I'll tell you what, all your problems gonna be gone by the end of the year. All right, these people who feel threatened by you. All right, jackpot is here. Scarcity tactic. So it's a bunch of shit being done behind the scenes that is causing like shit in your life to go haywire, but not too much that you can't control. Not too much that you cannot control. Infectious disease. Somebody definitely got an infectious disease. All right. Somebody doing shit as if they ain't got shit to live for. All right. What I say? Call the case. What the fuck? This is crazy. The next couple of days is significant. Infectious disease and terminal illness. Somebody is really not taking care of themselves. Moving on. And you moving on from this shit. Alright? Give it time. It's in the works. Sometime in the future. Move in silence. Alright? Somebody wanting you back and got all of these motherfucking problems. It's a no-go. It's a no-go. Let's see. I ain't used these in a while. Skin condition could be significant. Alright, the Fool. You get ready for a new beginning. Alright, this new beginning is coming your way. Alright, yeah, you're moving. You're laying something to rest. Alright, High Priestess. You're knowing shit and you're speaking on the shit that you know you ain't holding shit in. Alright, there's some sort of offer, but that's the Pentacles. Alright, so I'm telling you, it's a job offer within a job offer. Alright, something's coming in quickly that's gonna balance something out, and you're gonna be glad that you took a position. Alright, I'm so fucking excited. Alright, because there's so much that's getting ready to come to you. Alright, you've been waiting on this shit. You've been waiting on this. Sometimes sacrifice. You're willing to get peace and take a pay cut. Alright? But it's not gonna be like that. Ace of Cups. But you are willing to. That's how bad you want your fucking peace. You know what I mean? The Star, the Sun. That's how bad you want your fucking peace. Alright? And Spirit says, okay. You want your peace bad. Queen of Swords. Blocking all the bullshit out. You get ready to celebrate. Because I'm telling you. I'm telling you. Look, there's so many options here. You finna have options. Somebody's coming your way with an offer. Alright. Again. Yep. Offer. And you're gonna love this equal give and take. Alright. And this is your read. Alright. I'm going to stop that. Oh, death. Oh. The Lovers, the Decision, Rebirth. Oh, my face itching, hands itching. There's so much good shit finna happen. Alright, 3414 is where I stopped at. 3414. Let me write that down because I'm not going to remember it. $34.14. Y'all be having numbers on my hand and I'll be like, what the fuck was this number for? Alright. But I just wrote on there what it was for. Alright, let's see. Alright, YouTube. I'm getting ready to do your reading. Alright. All right, let's see. If you are wanting a reading, all right, please get in where you fit in. All right, let's see what's going on. Spirit, tell me about this move, or tell me about what's going on when it comes to this move. All right, so you went, oh, child, you are going through it. All right, you feel like you being attacked and you feel like it's no way out type of energy. But there is. Literally on the other fucking side. On the other side is a 10 of coins. Alright, it's a 10 of coins. It's great happiness. Fulfillment. I'm telling you. Oh my God. I just said this. I said somebody was going to be kicked out or somebody was going to be being put out of a situation. And right after that, something was coming. The next card is the World and then the Emperor. And then you got Judgment here. All right, no longer being held back. And then you got High Priestess. All right, so as soon as you let go, it's like God is pushing you out of something. All right, yeah, removing burdens so that you can have a new beginning. God is pushing you out. All right, Page of Coins is here. There's some sort of opportunity coming towards you when it comes to finances as well. Long-term investments, all right? Visions on long-term investments. It's like something is getting ready to be given. Ace of Cups, compassionate energy. All right, you feel like shit is just happening. Like Ten of Swords, like this is the worst when it comes to how you feeling. All right, and I got a celebration here. Celebration. There's some sort of celebration that's coming in that you don't see in the mix of the bullshit. All right. In the mix of the bullshit. All right, High Priest. Emperor is here. It's time to take authority. Why the Emperor keep coming out? Why the Emperor keep coming out? All right, something's coming in quick. This Emperor coming in quickly. All right, Ace of Cups. Ace of Cups, Page of Cups, High Priestess. I don't want to say somebody coming in to save you, but it's something coming in. All right, you got the Ace of Wands, Ace of Cups. This is like God finna show you which direction you moving in. All right, Emperor came out again. Damn. Either somebody is coming to assist you. Somebody coming to assist you. Or there's some sort of authority. Empress here. Ooh. There's an Empress and Emperor coming together. Traveling, moving, leaving. All right. What's happening within these 10 days, Spirit? Queen of Swords. All right. You may feel hopeless at this time. All right. But don't, because something is taking off. Something's going in a different direction. What's happening within the next 10 days? Ace of Cups. All right. The Magician. God getting ready to show you how you are a master manifester. All right. God. Sometimes God allows you. Ain't no sometimes. I done witnessed the shit. God make you go through the most fucked up shit. All right. And you thinking it's fucked up, but it's really not fucked up. But Spirit will have you go through some shit. All right. So you can see who the fuck you are. All right. But you're moving off the common waters. Ace of Coins. That's the Ace of Pentacles and the Sun. That's wish fulfillment. All right, so you're moving off to wish fulfillments. All right, so ain't nothing fucked up gonna happen. All right, that you think is getting ready to happen. Something about some long term goals. All right, Magician is here. I'm telling you, you make it. Something's gonna happen out of nowhere. All right, a victory. You're gonna be guided to do something. You're being guided to do something. Let's see. Moonology. Let's see what you're being guided to do. All right, celebrate and love. Spirit say keep celebrating. I talked about this earlier, how it seemed like everything going fine, then all of a sudden, boom, like something happened to be like, what the fuck? All right, slow it down. Boundaries. All right, cut your losses and releasing. All right, spirit is moving. You don't have to do nothing. Like spirit is moving you out of a environment. All right, spirit say slow it down. Called strength is here. Avoid drama. Avoid drama by any means unnecessary. Do nothing. Release blockages. Something was meant to be. So something was meant to happen. Divine intervention comes in different ways is what I'm hearing. Yeah, cut your losses and do nothing. That shit keep coming out. Releasing. All right, you're releasing. That's all that keep coming out is releasing and cut your losses. All right, what is happening is supposed to happen. What's happening is supposed to happen. Let's see. What's happening is supposed to happen. Give me information on the next 10 days. All right, community upside down. All right, so you're leaving a community. Be bold to make the first move. All right, don't wait until the last minute. All right, communication is the key. All right, do the necessary filing is what I heard. Let your fears dissolve. Keep walking with your head held high because something is getting ready to change in your favor. All right, spirit say dance and sing through that shit if you got to. All right, I've been through the same energy that you're going through and it don't feel good. All right, but the energy is getting the momentum. God getting ready to show you some shit. All right, a long time. God getting ready to show you. Also, God finna show you who willing to help you and who willing to not as well. All right, so I just feel like God is purging people out of your life through what you got going on. All right, I firmly feel that the end of a tough cycle is approaching. All right, please tap the screen. It's 11 people in here and ain't nobody liking a fuck thing. All right, please tap the screen. Thank you. All right, nurturing is here. All right, beloved is here. All right, your ancestors really love you. All right, spirit say don't let your past hold you back. Please do not let your past hold you back. Journal. All right, jot down your ideas. God's getting ready to show you something. Spirit say hold on to your vision. All right, sweet treats. All right, it's a time for healing. Something's coming into balance. All right, you're getting ready to see it. All right, conclusions are within reach. Ground yourself. All right, it's like spirit wants you to get lost, and spirit get lost in your spirituality. All right, a lot of times, again, God allows things to happen so that you can get closer to spirit. All right, you can see who really is helping you. Yes, people help you, but spirit is helping you. All right, message. You got some sort of message coming your way. All right, and nothing is set in stone. So do what you need to do. All right, do what you need to do. Do what you do, but watch my shoes. Let's see. All right, some terms can be negotiated, so something can be negotiated. All right, there's an opportunity open. A new opportunity is available. There's a door opening for you. All right, when one door closes, several fucking open. Okay, career shift, major change in professional direction. So everything is changing in your life. God has to change your foundation. All right. A divine assignment. This opportunity is tied to a purpose. All right. Multiple streams of income. More than one stream of opportunity is coming towards you. So you got more than one streams of opportunity. All right, paid in full, completion, payout, financial closures. Right, promotion pending, recognition, and elevations are near. All right, elevation is near. All right, if you're wanting a donation readings are available at this time. All right, for the next hour. CEO energy. CEO energy. All right, golden opportunity. All right, nothing's too small. 2, 3, 4, all of that. All right, if you're wanting a reading, all you gotta do is send in a donation. All right, golden opportunity, rare and valuable chance, everything but Zelle. All right, yeah. So you're stepping into your CEO authority. You're stepping into an energy spirit wants you to. All right, but certain things have to happen in order for you to step into that. All right. Divine assignment again. Whatever this is tied to your purpose. All right, multiple incomes. All right, spirit is pushing you out. Spirit is showing you something. All right, ain't shit stopping you. That's what spirit want to show you. All right, potential trap. All right, potential is a trap. All right, we're not doing shit off of potential. It is what it is at the moment in time. All right. Green light, aligned choice. This path honors who you are becoming. All right, so you're getting ready to walk down a path. All right, a different path. This path honors who you are becoming. All right. Wishful thinking. Somebody is wanting something. Wanting it badly doesn't make it right. All right. So you wanted to stay where you are. Know. A lot of times we ask God. We tell God we want to move, but we don't move, and God either evicts us or something happens to where you have to move. All right. Choose yourself. Pick the option that requires self. That doesn't require self abandonment. All right. Too many. Let me take the top card. It's a gentle yes. All right. It's a gentle yes. Not every yes arrives loudly. All right. Commit or release. All right. Lingering in limbo is no longer serving you. All right. So maybe you were trying to decide when you were wanting to leave. Well, spirit is just showing you. All right. It's like spirit is giving everybody a time that something is happening, but they giving you a time through something else. Like say, you're transferring. You have a time and a date on when misery ends. All right. Say you're moving. You have so many days, or you have a date on when you're moving. All right. It's like you have an end date on your fucking misery type shit. All right. Because something has to change that day. All right. Emotional fog. Feel first and decide later. All right. Illusion. Selective memory. All right. You may be remembering only the parts that feel easier. All right. And spirit is saying no. Feel everything. All right. Commit or release. All right. So you are moving everything out of your life that does not go with your purpose. And this card say emotional attachment. Attachments may be clouding your judgment. All right. So there may be some more people around you that you need to get the fuck out your face. All right. Green flags here. Open door. This path is available to you now. All right. So you got a path that's opening up to you. All right. But spirit have to close the door in order for you to see something, in front of you. Okay, so it's like both doors was open, but the back door was still open, so you couldn't see what was in front of you because you was focusing on the back door. All right, rose-colored glasses. You are softening the truth. All right, to keep a dream alive. You move accordingly. All right, you seen enough. Act like it. All right, cut the cord. You're cutting the cord either from a person, place, or thing. All right, person, place, or thing or situation, but you're no longer dealing with it. All right, first feeling. Your first instinct held the truth before fear got in the way. All right, a choice is asking you to define yourself. So it's like you got choices. Which one of those choices describe you? You know what I'm saying? All right. So you're gonna go down the path that not only makes things easier, but it defines you. All right. You're not gonna go against the grain and go down a path that ain't aligned for you. All right. You'll just be learning lessons all over again. All right. Return to self. Come back to your center before choosing. All right, so come back to yourself before you make a decision. There's some sort of decision that you're getting ready to make. All right, and spirit wants you to talk to yourself before you do so. All right, there's good people involved in whatever this is getting ready to happen. Somebody doing the most when it comes to you on purpose. All right, there's big moves being made. All right, spirit baby is here. You got a spirit baby around you. Your son is significant. All right, let's see. Coming to surprise out of nowhere. Secret getaway. All right, dream date. Finally feeling free is here. All right, so much, too much money to ever be broke. Billionaire club. All right, you can win this battle. Bowling is here. All right, you getting ready for an exciting time. Don't think about the bullshit that's going on. Whatever don't feel right, don't do it. All right, somebody's gifting you a car. Somebody finding out about an aunt being their mother. All right, somebody can't handle your energy. Tried to play you and you still won. There's a masculine catching up quickly. All right, you are a star. Finding out new information. All right, gift is here for Empress. All right, so you got shit coming in. All right, popping up in your city. The battle is over. Get ready to receive. All right, so you think that you're gonna go through some shit. You're not gonna go through what you think you are. Get ready to receive. All right, get ready to receive. Step out of your comfort zone. Something is happening before the next holiday. Cinco de Mayo is the next holiday. All right, proving everybody wrong. All right, somebody is stepping up to the plate. All right, somebody knows it's over. They lost. Somebody popping up. A lot of money is owed to you. Somebody can hear you. I'm hearing that Mario song. I can hear your heart crying out for me. I can hear it. Hear you crying for me, for me, for me. Somebody crying out to you on purpose. Somebody talking to you telepathically. All right, somebody got to release money. Somebody is saying, hold on, I'm coming. Somebody's coming towards you. All right, somebody don't want you to work. Somebody want to take care of you. Somebody want to shower you with gifts. Somebody want to take all your problems away. All right, moving into your own home. You're being pushed out because you're being moved into a home. All right, and this is your read. All right, if you have any questions, please feel free to hit me up. All right, is anybody else wanting a read over here on TikTok? I'm sorry, YouTube. All right, I'm going to end the live over here. Hope you guys have a wonderful night.